It's early spring and we're doing some Western-style turkey hunting in New Mexico.
We're going to take 2 Purple Heart recipients from Support U.S. Armed Forces on a turkey hunt in New Mexico. And we got the turkeys all mapped out.
And we also have Darren from Silencer Co.
That was pretty dang cool right there. Dang right.
That's the first time that I really got to appreciate the suppressors that Darren brought.
This is gonna be good.
Time to get up now.
Our lives move pretty fast, but it's only in the moment of the hunt that life slows down. It's not a matter of what we do, but how we do it. With passion, drive, and the challenge to accept nothing but our best. We are the Wildlifers.
Kevin and Ryan have both been to the ranch to hunt whitetail. We thought it'd be a great idea to bring them on a turkey hunt. So we got with Bill Carlson from Support U.S. Armed Forces, and we made it happen.
It's just cool to take these guys hunting. They both served in their respective branches of the military. They were both wounded in action, protecting the freedoms that so many of us take for granted. We're going to try and get them on some Merriams. Neither of them have ever hunted them, and Ryan actually only needs the Merriam to complete his slams.
When I first found out I was coming on this hunt, I was really excited. I'd never been out west. I needed the Merriam turkey to complete my Grand Slam, so I was extremely happy and thrilled that I was coming out here.
When he called me and said I was going on a trip, I mean, definitely, hell yeah, I wanted to go, kill a Merriam turkey.
The cool thing is, these guys are brothers. And, well, I tell you what, they're competitive, so there's no telling what's going to happen this week.
Well, we arrived early, as we always do, to go find out where the turkeys are, where they're moving on the ranch.
I think what we'll do in the morning is pull down the bottom of this hill, walk up that draw to that other side, and pull them right down that draw to us. They're roosted up in the mouth of this canyon.
Well, I had gone out scouting and found some birds east of the headquarters. Hagen had gone to another area to look for birds for Ryan.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's a double beard. No, he's got 2. It's hard to tell.
With family, there's always a little bit of competitiveness. And with brothers, well, these 2 guys, they're like, who's gonna shoot first? We're gonna get mine. Mine's gonna be bigger. Mine's gonna be better. So you never know what's gonna happen.
It's the first morning of turkey season, and the brothers prepare to go on their hunts. Kevin will be guided by Dan and John, while Ryan goes out with Hagen and Chris.
This morning, Chris and I, we've got this great place picked out. It should be awesome. We're just gonna go down to the edge of this canyon here and see if we can get this bird to gobble and get set up on him.
My guys, Hagen and Chris, came up with a game plan. We're gonna scoot down through there, do some locator calling, see if we can hear a gobble. So we go a couple hundred yards, they'd call, nothing, so we'd keep moving down. Then eventually we heard the first gobble.
So we moved about 50 yards, got set up.
Then all of a sudden out of nowhere, we hear one gobble off. He's real close. Then all of a sudden he spooks. and he takes off to the left, and I'm kind of in the open, and he's right there, and I can't move.
On Ryan's first morning of turkey season, a tom has approached the decoy and spooked off to the left, exposing Ryan's position to where he can't swing his gun around to aim.
We're real close, probably within 10 yards of him. And at that point in time, I don't have really that much cover. I'm kind of in the open, and he's right there, and I can't move. So I'm kind of stuck there because I'm pointing at the decoys. Once he put his tail up, that was my opportunity to swing on him and get my gun on him.
That definitely worked out.
Super excited. Completed my grand slam. When we were checking the bird out, I was so excited I was shaking. I mean, I was thrilled. I always thought the Marion turkey was the most beautiful turkey of the species there. And I've never been up close to one. This is the first time I get to see it. Just all the beautiful iridescent colors, the white tail fan, just a beautiful bird.
So now that I know my brother has a bird down, you know, it's time for me to even a score, try to get one of my own.
Now I've got a little pressure on me to get Kevin his bird, so I've got to really get my stuff together here and get one down.
I hear Dan's a great turkey caller, and hopefully we get on some nice gobblers. Dan starts calling on his call a little bit. Gobblers are hammering about 80 yards to our left. And, you know, adrenaline starts going, heart's pumping, hoping one of these birds come my way. We think they're coming our way. Some hens show up and they slip out the other way. They go the opposite way of what we're expecting.
They sounded to me like they went like that way, and we expected them to most likely come down the draw or to go where we saw them yesterday evening, but I don't think they did. They either went like this or down the road and they're below us, and I kind of hope they're below us because we'll be able to see them.
We go back down, and my plan this time is to get in right in this fella's backyard. I mean, I am going to sneak so close, he's going to have to come look.
So we set up about 100 yards from where we think the bird's set up. Dan thought this would be a good spot. We had turkey sign everywhere. Dan starts calling. Nothing. We decided to wait a little bit longer. We're probably there about an hour total. Nothing. We're calling, nothing. The bird's not responding. So after about an hour of waiting, Dan decides, you know, we're gonna push in, try to make something happen on this bird. So I'm behind Dan. Dan's pushing up to the bush. Dan's full concentration, you know, looking down there trying to find this turkey.
And I'm using one juniper tree between me and where I think this turkey's standing.
All of a sudden I hear bird, bird, bird. I look over to my right, there he is.
And bam, I hear a gun go off, and I don't know what the hell is going on. And then I see something, and I turn and I look, and there's a dead turkey there. So now I'm twice as confused.
You come right out.
Well, alrighty then. Then I start hearing what happened, and apparently, you know, they're following me. The turkey flies over this stream, lands to the right of them, 30 yards, takes off running. Kevin very safely swings on the bird and gets it. And that is what happened, unbeknownst to me, and it took me a second to get that all figured out.
I got my eye on that. It all happened so fast. I mean, I didn't even really have time to shoulder my weapon. You know, I hit myself with the scope, you know, got scope by the eye. It just happened so fast. It's worth it for my first Mayhem turkey.
Weird. Huh. Well, that didn't go quite how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah, happened a little quick.
I'm not real sure what just happened. In fact, I'm not even sure I'm here.
Both the brothers got a turkey down. but they also both have another tag, so we're not anywhere near finished.
As we go hunting for Ryan's second bird, it's an evening hunt. We think we have this bird patterned, but you just never know with evening hunts.
So we chose a setup that was close to their travel pattern, so we sat up and hoping we'd catch them on the way to the roost. Weather was moving in. It was starting to get really windy. With the high winds, we were a little worried about the birds not being able to hear our calling, so now it's just a waiting game.
All of a sudden, we just hear something start beating the crap out of the decoy. I'm sure that this is a bird we saw the first day scouting, and we thought he had a double beard. We were so excited that it was working out this way. He was putting on the best show I've ever seen turkey hunting. I mean, he was just jumping on the decoy nonstop, pecking the decoy, hitting it with his wings.
I didn't want to take the shot yet because I didn't want to mess up the decoy. Once he moved out, I was trying to wait for him to come out of full strut, but he pretty much wouldn't come out of it. What I wasn't expecting, the bird kind of jumped up in the air and took off running. I knew he was hit, but I didn't know how bad. So we crested over the hill and there he was dead on the ground. I was extremely excited because I knew that was the bird that we were trying to get during the morning hunt. And there he was standing in front of us, so super excited. Big bird, couldn't be happier.
It's still early in the first day. I still got a tag left in my pocket. You know, Dan says he knows where some other birds are, so we're gonna go out and try to see if we can't fill the second tag before the weather comes in.
We see some birds in the valley, and I decide that we're gonna get on the opposite side of the hill, go over it and get as close to them as we possibly can, and try and call them in for a shot.
So we get set up. We're set up on top of the mountain. You know, Dan's calling. The birds are gobbling like crazy in the valley below us, and they're just not coming our way.
They're hung up down there with hens, so I decide we need to move.
Dan comes up with a plan. We're gonna try to slip back down towards them and see if we can't slip out in the valley and see if we can't get a shot on these birds.
We get up, we start sneaking down the hill. I get about as close as my fear will let me get, and I say, I'm gonna call and see where they are. And he gobbles, and he is literally right the other side of that tree, so it creates panic. You know, that's the point where you're like, they're closer than we thought. We need to hide right now. Well, there's no place for me to hide, and there's nothing for me to get behind. So I just fall over on my side and lay on the ground. And Kevin ends up resting his gun on my leg. There's one lane that we can shoot under this tree that is clear enough for a safe shot. That turkey has got to come into that lane.
He's coming this way, right here. He got away.
The bird flies off. And I'm like, what? You know, this is 15-yard shot. How do you miss a turkey at 15 yards? But he didn't miss him. You know, the bird just looked like he flew, went a little ways and fell dead. It was over. But I really thought he missed him for a second. I'm thinking, wow, boy, Ryan is gonna really capitalize on this one, but it didn't work out. He got him, and it turned out to be just an incredible hunt.
Mayhem turkey down, real excited. First day of the hunt, 2 tags filled, couldn't get any better.
With the 2 brothers tagged out, the wildlifers now turn their focus to another U.S. veteran, Darren Jones with Silencer Co.
Dan and I talked about this several months ago about turkey hunting and how much we love turkey hunting. He's like, hey, you really need to come hunt Merriam's with us.
I've never been around a shotgun with a suppressor on, And I'm excited to take him hunting just to see how these things work, because sitting here at the range and listening to them, it is just crazy how much quieter these guns are with these suppressors on them.
Being a guide like you are, if you're shooting elk or mule deer or pronghorn and somebody's shooting a high-powered rifle next to you, and you got to be on the glass to watch for hits, one, you can hear the hits better.
Yeah.
And you're concentrating on what's going on in all your situational awareness. So that's one of the big benefits of the suppressor. So.
Sure. From a guiding standpoint, this is really exciting because I've never been around one, so didn't know what to expect, but it does a really good job.
After checking out all the suppressors and getting a little shooting in, the guys were anxious to get out into the field. So they called it a night and were up bright and early to start their hunt.
We're on these birds, a fair amount of birds, and they just don't want to cooperate at all. Can't get them to respond, can't get them to do anything. We decided, well, if we can't get them to respond, let's just back off.
The guys quickly moved their position to increase their advantage on the birds.
We're looking for a good place to get set up. We step past the cedar tree and everybody just freezes.
There's a Tom there in front of him. Man, he's coming this way.
Look across this open, here's this red head sticking up looking. So we just kind of ease down, get below the hill, and everybody just lays down right there out in the wide open.
They're coming this way.
How many?
All of them. There's 3. There's like 2 jakes and a Tom.
You see the middle one?
Yep.
The middle one?
Middle one.
Now?
The middle.
Now?
There you go.
My first mirrors.
Darren is just elated. He's super excited. He's all down there rubbing on the feathers, talking about the colors and the iridescence in the birds. And I'm just sitting here thinking, I can't believe this worked. You know, normally when you look up and you see a bird looking at you, things don't really happen like this, but it worked out. He got one.
Beautiful, guys. Thank you.
Really, yeah.
Really appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Good
It was
shooting.
fun.
Yeah, that was awesome.
The next morning we go north of the headquarters, and it's pretty late in the morning before we finally get one to answer us. We get set up and we start to call. The bird is very vocal. He's answering us almost every call.
He's coming.
John hits his call and the bird gobbles, and he is literally right the other side of this cedar tree.
There he is.
All of a sudden, this walk turns into a trot. He's committed. He's coming.
That was pretty cool.
Good work. That was pretty dang cool right there.
Dang right. That's the first time that I really got to appreciate the suppressors that Darren brought. Because had that been a normal shotgun, based on where I was sitting, it would have been ear ring for 3 hours. And it wasn't any louder than if I were to clap my hands together.
Yeah.
Man, he is a pretty bird. He worked pretty though. He was tough though. You know, we would call from one spot and he would say, okay, he's coming. And then the next gobble you hear, he was going over the top. And then...
Yeah. Well, I thought he was henned up and they were pulling him away.
Yeah, I did too.
And
well, he was henned up. There was one hen I heard her putting. Yeah. You know, this was one of the best turkey hunts that I've ever been on, because it was my first opportunity to take some people associated with Support U.S. Armed Forces on a turkey hunt.
And to have Darren come in and bring all the cool things that he has from Silencer Co., this has been a really great week. I'm glad to be a part of it.
And he too is a veteran, so we got to give him something as well. And you know, any chance we get to do that, we need to jump all over it, not just us, but everybody. And thank these guys for the service that they've done for our country and for the sacrifices that perhaps a lot of us wouldn't be willing to make.
For all your Wildlifers social media needs, make sure to follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.